Mahamatra Sino. Sir Cyrus. Ah, and the traveler...
As such, I'm inclined to believe that the culprit in this case is a student at the academia. Oh, one last thing.
Oh, of course! You think the culprit spilled their coffee on...
They do look like coffee stains to me. Also, if I'm not mistaken, the letter is written on a type of scented paper that has aromatics added during the manufacturing process. The kind often provided as writing material for...
Ah, of course! Yes, like they sell in the gift shops. I remember now. Zaha Hadid bought some a while back. She said she was going to use it as wrapping.
Understood. I'll assemble a team to investigate the points of interest immediately.
You have my gratitude.
One last thing. Send some Matra to guard the entrances and exits of Sumeru City. And change into plain clothes.
Will do.
Great thinking, Sino. So, where do we think the culprit's at? Yeah, they've probably been lying low at home.
You're right.
Really?
The culprits approach. Whatever happens, they need this Mora. But just because they warned Professor Cyrus not to go to the Matra, doesn't mean they know what he'll do next. And crucially, the culprits said they'd be watching the professors.
Huh? Wait, are you saying...
Found you!
What are you doing?
You wrote the threat letter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I sensed someone was watching us from the shadows the moment we entered the House of Dana. You managed to stay relatively well hidden. There are a lot of people here, but we were looking specifically for Arav. Whoever followed us the whole way was likely to be the culprit.
I was just listening in, that's all. You know something big's going down when Mahamatra Sino shows up, right? So...
You smiled when Arav left. I saw it as clear as...
Is smiling a crime now?
There are coffee stains on the letter. You mixed some coffee with water, gently smeared it onto the paper, then wiped it off with a wet cloth. All to create the impression that the letter was written at a cafe. Closing off the exits to the city doesn't affect you, because you already live here. And as long as the Matra were focused on the cafe was a red herring all along. You had to be somewhere where you could monitor the professor's...
You can't pin this on me! I haven't done anything!
Really? Then why are you The innocent have no reason to fear the Matra. Your heart's racing, and your eyelids are twitching. You're a
I would never...
Don't try anything or you'll pay the price. Now...
Well, that was over quickly, Sino.
You're telling me. 1 minute I go out for a quick smoke, the next minute I see Arav already on his way back to meet up with... looked like a young guy, too. Couldn't have been much more than 30. But after what he's done, I'm afraid he's ruined his whole future.
Everyone, it's all over.
Gosh, that was so...
The culprit's name is Uraka, a 16-year-old student in the...
Huh?
16? Cyrus thought he looked 30.
We checked his records. He's 16, a 30.
But he looks so old.
Yeah, serious.
Foolish child. He's too young for the criminal life. What the devil drove him down?
We questioned the culprit regarding his motives.
Oh, just spit it out. Nothing can surprise me at this point.
Very well. It's our understanding that Araka is a mediocre student who has been underperforming in his classes. He started taking extra tutoring to improve his grade. Down on his luck, he went to the tavern for a drink and overheard some people chatting about Sir Cyrus's comfortable retirement. They mentioned that he's always arguing about his tomato plants with some old woman on the street.
Some old woman on the street? Goodness gracious. Has that rascal attended a single one of his classes? That old woman is Kasharwar's very own professor, Zaha Hadid. How can he not know who Zaha Hadid is?
Is this going somewhere?
Oh, right, yes. So another thing. We don't just argue about tomato plants. And what are they trying to insinuate by comfortable retirement? A man grows a few vegetables and suddenly he's living a life.
Maybe it's more the fact that you have the time to grow vegetables.
Araka mentioned he'd heard a rumor, alleging that Sir Cyrus illegally obtained a large sum of money from the desert before retiring and kept it for himself instead of report. Araka believes this money to be the reason why Sir Cyrus hasn't kept up with any academic research or other projects since his retirement. And given your advanced age, he thought you...
Oh, Araka. I'm at a loss for words.
People make up rumors all the time. I am quite confident that Professor Cyrus has never embezzled...
Arav, you'll have to find some excuse to interrogate Araka again later. I need you to deliver a few
I completely understand how you feel, Sir Cyrus, but I'm afraid that course of act...
Professor.
Oh, come on. I was clearly joking.
Okay.
The academia will determine the appropriate disciplinary action against the student. And as for the individuals spreading rumors about the professor's obsession with tomatoes and some old woman on the street, there could...
Who said I'm obsessed with some old woman on the street? Mind your wording or you'll start a whole new rumor. You seem confused. Uraka is just a young boy who made a very rash and very stupid decision based on some groundless rumor he heard. Besides, I didn't actually hand over any Mora to him. The whole thing sounds a lot... All it costs me is a little
Please rest assured, Professor, that the academia will issue a fair and reasonable punishment.
Yes, I have no doubt about that. But as a former educator, I'd still like to have a serious conversation with the boy.
Correct.
We looked into the family. Both parents are merchants, and they're often away on business. They've never taken...
Oh, what a You don't have to seal the evidence away yet, do you? I'd like to have that letter back for the time being, if possible. We have to show them how serious this situation is.
The relevant authorities have already reviewed the evidence and are now discussing Araka's punishment. You can hold on to the letter.
Oh, so you'll be able to close the...
Give or take. Cases like this are...
Very good. Well, thank you for all your help.
My apologies, Sir Cyrus, but I have a prior commitment.
Ah, I see. Well, that's a pity. But Sino, you have to come. Ah, and isn't Tainari in town at the moment?
Wait, you mean Tainari's in the city?
He is. Tainari's master, Sir Nephis, called him and Kale to the academia to help out on a project. They should be at Nephis's office at this hour. Though I must say, I'm surprised you're extending an invitation to Tainari.
Don't be outrageous. Nephis offends me all the time. It's never the other way around. Anyway, hurry up and fetch Tainari. I'll head over to the tavern with the Traveler and Paimon. Go on now. Don't keep up.
Relax.
There are so many local social distancing.
Not to brag, but we never had problems like this at Ratawa Hist back when I was still teaching. And if you don't, it was students at the time. They'll tell you what it was like, won't they?
I was out in the forest at least 4 days a week back then, thanks to a colossal workload from Master. It wrought havoc on my poor tail, so I didn't most of what I know I heard from Sino after the fact.
Professor's become a lot more laid back in his retirement. He used to be far stricter, and was especially known...
Wow. It's hard enough to stay true to your principles as a normal person. I can't imagine doing that as a sage.
It's a pity Kale wasn't around at the time. I would have happily taken her on as a student.
And then we'd have one more person who has to address Lisa as upper-class woman.
Really? Can't you just call her Lisa? She seems to prefer it when people treat her like an older sister.
Oh, believe me, back when she was a student, nothing made her happier than the younger students acknowledging her seniority.
Whoa, more food? Are you sure about this? We don't want to take advantage.
Oh, don't worry about it. Order whatever you like. And if it's not enough, order some more. After all your help...
I thought I heard some familiar voices. Ah, and Sir Cyrus is here as well.
Oh, Kaveh, it's been a while. Zahahadi was talking about...
I've been all right, thank you. You're looking very well, sir. I'm glad to see it.
Have you eaten yet? Care to join us?
That's awfully kind of you, but I had a late lunch, so I'm not really hungry just yet. I'll have dinner a little bit later tonight. I just came to Lombard's to buy some wine, and when I heard some voices I recognized, I thought I'd come and say hello. So what's the occasion, anyway? Some sort of celebration?
Consolation, more like. You wouldn't believe the day I've...
Sounds like things have really gone downhill since I was there. My whole time as a student, I've never heard of anything remotely like that.
I can't believe how young the guy is. What are his parents going to think?
Young people are always more susceptible to making rash and ill-advised decisions. But still, this boy has some nerve. Just look at what he wrote. Oh, it makes my...
Wow, yeah.
I will always be watching you and all of your secrets.
If this were my son, he'd get the scolding of a lifetime. Oh.
Luckily, I'm also an extreme...
Kaveh! Your order's ready, sir!
Coming. I'll have to get going. Have a nice evening, everyone. I'll catch you all another time.
Okay, bye-bye!
Here I am. The coffee beans are in here too.